Hi, I'm coming at you with Trillium's Miles Away. It's a barrel-aged sour beer aged on passion fruit and guava, a collaboration with J. Wakefield Brewing. Just says that JWB on there. So they use J. Wakefield's house lactobacillus strain to first sour this beer, and they used what Trillium calls their native New England wild culture of yeast and bacteria to ferment it, and then they age it in wine barrels, and then they add some tropical fruits to it. It's 6.6% alcohol. The draft version they released earlier in the summer was lower alcohol, but this one was bottle conditioned. It was bottled in July 14th, but they didn't release it for like 2 months in bottles, so it could be naturally carbonated. When I first popped this open a couple days ago, wasn't in the mood for doing a review, but I thought it would be a good beer to review. And I have this little nifty, like champagne topper thing that usually keeps the carbonation pretty good in these bottle conditioned beers. We'll see. Oop, that was very nice. Poofed. There's a good amount of sediment on the bottom, so we'll see how murky it is. And I liked it quite a bit when I had it a couple days ago, but it was very, very sour. Still had plenty of fruit character and sweetness though. Yeah, it's not quite as intensely carbonated as it was, but still definitely got some going on. It's only a little bit ahead because of this intense acidity. And some little chunkies floating around, but that don't bother me. Yeah, really, really tropical, really big on the passion fruit in the nose. It reminds me of some of the J. Wakefield sour beers I've had. Their lactobacillus strain seems to make an almost like smoky, nice, sharp, clean lactic acid character. That sometimes, yeah, I get kind of a smoky thing from it. But it doesn't. Yeah, it's not actually a weird char or like weird phenolic thing happening. It's not medicinal. And not really much funk. I think I remember maybe there being a little bit of funk developing when I had it a couple days ago. But very, very fruit forward. Even though it develops a little bit of a burn in the back of the throat because of the intense acidity once you get to the bottom of the glass. This one uses a good amount of wheat in it also. I bet it's similar to Trillium's Soak malt base. Yeah. Hits you with really tart, fruity, lactic pucker at first. And then there's just a little bit of a acetic burn in the throat. And the mouth is like watering, but still covered with lots of really ripe tropical fruit and like peach ring candy sort of gummy flavors. And that's very nice, but really fruit forward, really like winey. The barrel's quite strong, even though I kind of doubt I don't think they barrel aged this like for a really, really long time. But it does mix with the tropical fruits in there really well. Yeah. It's nice that they were able to make it this intensely sour, but also have the fruit carry out. I guess Trillium is pretty good at doing that. That's what they've been doing in their soak series. I could have stopped and grabbed a peach super soak today, but just didn't feel like it as much. But they know how to make a really sour beer, but then do their whole cold maceration process or something like that to really get you lots of fruit flavor. Because I've had a lot of really sour beers over the past few years where the fruit is almost covered up by all the lactic acid and acetic acid created from the yeast, and they're just super dry. This one still has some sweetness, but it will satisfy all you pucker heads out there. Yeah, I'm not really getting Brett. The Brett is really just kind of maybe a fruitier tropical Brett. Kind of brings out some stone fruit sort of flavors that blend in really well with the guava and passion fruit because I think Brettanomyces creates almost guava-like flavor sometimes. Mm. It's nice, but drinking a whole bottle of this, even split between two people, would be maybe a little difficult unless you're really in a crazy sour phase. I used to really love it. I in the past maybe could have drank this whole thing myself, but not these days. It will give you some heartburn. It's maybe not. It's not the most sour beer I've ever had, but it is a formidable sipper. Mm. And I do like the flavor a lot. I love these tropical fruits too. I had my first actual real raw passion fruit, and it's really gross inside there, but the flavor is really, really delicious, and I can taste it in here. I don't know if I've had an actual guava fruit. That's the next one I should try, because those are two really popular tropical fruits that I've had many more times in beer than actually just the raw plant. But anyone who loves the tropical fruits and sour beers is going to really like this one. It's not available anymore. Maybe it's trade worthy a little bit. It was only $16 a bottle, which it wasn't too bad for barrel aged fruit with barrel aged beer with lots and lots of fruit in it. And it recalls a lot of the J. Wakefield really great fruited sours. Their lactobacillus strain just works so well with that. And then a little added complexity from some wild yeast affects, but this beer isn't funky at all. There's no barnyard, and also from the wine barrel. Yeah, it's still carbonated, making me burp. I recommend it. Hopefully they brew this one again. But with the collaborations at Trillium, I don't know if they've ever rebrewed a collaboration, though they have kind of played off of 1 year's collaboration to the next. Like maybe they'll do Miles Away, but with different tropical fruits. Maybe they'll do a pineapple one next year or something. I'd probably snag it, but yeah, you might know from my channel that I don't do a whole bunch of sour beers these days because I'm a little bit over the really, really sour, fruity beers. I want more funk, Brettanomyces, complex fermented flavors, not just a pile of acid and fruit. But this one makes it somewhat palatable, but definitely has made lots of people happy. I know a lot of people really love this one. Maybe the tap version would be, I don't know if that would have suited my taste a little bit more, because I think that one, was a little bit sweeter, lower alcohol. This is definitely your full-on barrel-aged sour, but pretty good. Bye-bye.